Hello and welcome to Work Health Me, the podcast about healthy work prevention and the people behind working life. My name is Andrea Leipelt. Let me start with a simple question. Have you ever finished a workday feeling completely exhausted, even though you barely moved? Not physically tired, but mentally drained. If your answer is yes, you are not alone. Mental health at work has become one of the defining topics of our time. We talk about stress, burnout, and resilience more openly than ever before. Companies invest in wellness programs, mindfulness apps, and coaching sessions. And yet, many employees still feel overwhelmed. So, here's the real question. Are we truly improving mental health at work, or are we simply becoming better at talking about it? Because awareness alone is not enough. Real change requires action, responsibility, and a deep understanding of what truly shapes psychological well-being in the workplace. In this episode, we explore that mental health at work really means, why it matters more than ever, and how organizations can create psychologically safe and sustainable workplaces. What does mental health at work really mean? Mental health is more than the absence of illness. It is the foundation for well-being, performance, and resilience. At work, good mental health enables people to stay focused, cope with challenges, collaborate effectively, make sound decisions, and find meaning in what they do. Poor mental health, on the other hand, can lead to fatigue and exhaustion, decreased motivation, reduced productivity, increased absenteeism, and long-term health problems. But mental health is not only an individual matter. It is shaped by the environment in which people work. Workplaces influence how employees think, feel, and performance every day. This mental health is not just a personal issue. It is also an organizational responsibility. Healthy employees are the foundation of sustainable success. Let's imagine a typical workday. You arrive at the office, open your laptop, and your inbox is already full. Before you can focus on your priorities, the first meeting begins, then another, and another. Your phone vibrates, notifications pop up, deadlines are approaching. Between meetings, you try to complete your task, but interruptions make it difficult to concentrate. You skip your break. You answer emails during lunch. And by the end of the day, your to-do list is still not finished. You feel exhausted, but not physically, mentally. Sound familiar? For many people, this is everyday reality. Stress rarely arrives as a dramatic crisis. More often, it builds gradually, email by email, meeting by meeting, deadline by deadline. And over time, this accumulation can have a significant impact on mental health. The modern workplace is changing rapidly. Digitalization, globalization, and technological innovation have transformed how we work. Today's employees face constant connectivity, increasing complexity, information overload, and rising expectations. Remote and hybrid work offer flexibility and autonomy, but they can also blur the boundaries between professional and private life. Permanent availability has become the norm. Recovery becomes more difficult, and switching off is no longer easy. In this environment, mental health is no longer optional. It is essential for resilience, productivity, and long-term success. Organizations that ignore mental health risk losing their most valuable resource, their people. For many years, mental health remained a taboo topic in the workplace. Employees hesitated to speak openly about stress, anxiety, or emotional exhaustion. They feared being perceived as weak, unreliable, or incapable. Fortunately, this is beginning to change. More organizations are encouraging open dialogue and raising awareness. But reducing stigma requires more than campaigns. It requires a culture of trust, respect, and empathy. A culture where employees feel safe to say, I need support, I'm overwhelmed, I made a mistake, and where they can say it without fear. Because silence protects no one, but openness protects everyone. Mental health challenges rarely appear overnight. They develop gradually and often unnoticed. Common warning signs include persistent fatigue, declining concentration, irritability, sleep disturbances, lack of motivation, increased mistakes, and social withdrawal. Organizations may observe broader indicators such as rising absenteeism, frequent turnover, declining productivity, and reduced engagement. These signs are not weaknesses, they are signals. Signals that something in the work environment requires attention. Recognizing them early allows timely intervention and prevents long-term consequences. One of the most important factors for mental health at work is psychological safety. Psychological safety means that employees feel safe to express ideas, ask questions, admit mistakes, and raise concerns without fear of negative consequences. Such environments foster trust, innovation, collaboration, and continuous learning. That is psychological safety. And it is not a luxury. It is a necessity of sustainable success. The leadership has a profound impact on workplace mental health. Leaders shape priorities, communication, expectations, and organizational culture. A supportive leader can reduce stress. A poor leader can amplify it. Healthy leadership includes setting realistic goals, communicating transparently, recognizing achievements, providing constructive feedback, and fostering mutual respect. It is not about eliminating pressure. It is about creating conditions in which employees can perform without compromising their well-being. Many organizations respond to mental health challenges only after problems arise. However, sustainable success depends on prevention. Preventive strategies include manageable workloads, clear roles and responsibilities, transparent communication, respectful leadership, opportunities for participation, and adequate recovery time. Mental health should not be treated as an optional benefit. It should be embedded in occupational safety, corporate health management, and organizational development. Healthy organizations are not built by chance. They are built by intention. Investing in mental health is not only ethically responsible, it is economically wise. Organizations that promote mental well-being benefit from higher productivity, reduced absenteeism, lower turnover, improved employee engagement, and stronger employer branding. Mental health is not a luxury. It is a strategic advantage. As an occupational physician, I experience every day how closely mental health and working conditions are connected. Mental health is not separate from occupational safety. It is an essential part of it, and prevention always begins before illness develops. Let me share a typical example. Imagine an employee named Sarah. Sarah is highly motivated and committed to her job. She takes responsibility, supports her colleagues, and strives for excellence. But over time, her workload increases. Deadlines become tighter, meetings multiply, expectations grow. She begins to skip breaks. She answers emails late at night, and she finds it increasingly difficult to switch off. At first, Sarah feels tired, then exhausted. Eventually, she struggles to concentrate and loses motivation. She assumes she simply needs to work harder. But the real issue is not her performance. It is the environment in which she works. After a discussion with occupational health services, organizational adjustments are implemented. Clearer priorities, realistic deadlines, structured communication, and defined recovery periods. Within a few months, Sarah regains her energy and focus. This example illustrates an important trust. Mental health challenges are often not individual failures. There are signals that working conditions need to change. So, what can organizations do to promote mental health? Here are 8 practical steps. First, promote open dialogue. Encourage conversations about mental health and reduce stigma. Second, strengthen psychological safety. Create an environment where employees feel safe to speak up. Third, train the leaders. Equip managers to recognize and address mental strength. Fourth, ensure manageable workloads. Prevent overload through realistic planning and prioritization. Fifth, clarify roles and responsibilities. Reduce uncertainty and unnecessary stress. Sixth, encourage recovery. Support breaks, boundaries, and work-life balance. Seventh, provide professional support. Offer access to occupational health services and counseling. Eight, integrate mental health into strategy. Embed well-being into corporate culture and decision-making. These measures are not extraordinary. They are essential for responsible leadership. Before we close, let me leave you with a question. What does mental health look like in your organization? Is it treated as an individual responsibility or as a shared commitment? Because healthy workplaces do not emerge by coincidence. They are created through intention, awareness, and leadership. Mental health is not a trend. It is a prerequisite for sustainable success. Mental health at work is not a trend. It is necessity. It affects individuals, organizations, and society as a whole. Healthy workplaces are built on respect, trust, and responsibility. Creating such environments requires commitment and continuous effort. But the rewards are immeasurable because healthy work is not an extra. It is essential. Thank you for listening to Work Helps Me. If you found this episode valuable, feel free to share it with colleagues and your network. Together, we can create healthier and more sustainable workplaces. Until next time, stay healthy and take care. Don't forget, healthy work means living better.